Welcome, B-L-O-O-D-Y, welcome to the show. The show that keeps on giving. The show that gives you glamour, beauty, and allotment chic. Welcome. This show is called
Sunday Chat.
Yes, welcome. Welcome.
That was nice and loud today.
Sorry, were you saying something, Paul?
Were you pouting?
I was stuck in a glamour loop. Anyway, welcome.
Can I do a glamour loop?
No, it's not possible, Paul. No, that just looks strange and slightly crazy.
I have my own glamour, really.
For those of you who are new to the channel, we are normal people. Normal, bog-standard, ordinary people that lead ordinary lives and occasionally slip into a glamorous mode.
Well, you do.
It's not every day. This is not how I look every day.
No, it's not.
You don't need to rub it in, Paul.
Oh, dear.
Do you like my shirt?
This morning
Do you like my shirt, Paul?
You were drooling this morning.
What?
Yeah.
Drooling?
Yeah.
I never drool, Paul. That was deliberate spitting.
Like that in bed. At 10 to 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody's drooling at 10 to 6 in the morning, aren't they, really? Do you like my shirt, Paul?
It's lovely, Richard.
It's vibrant.
It's lovely.
Vibrant and summery.
Does it wash well?
Yeah, it does, actually.
There we are.
I think I've only washed it a couple of times.
I know, I can smell. Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous, Paul.
No, I can't.
No, it smells fragrant and
It
lemony
does.
fresh.
Have you sprayed that lemony fresh thing?
No, it's the toothpaste. Lemon
it's
fresh.
funny that too.
It's a bit like soapy, isn't it? Soapy. It's a lemony toothpaste made by a famous toothpaste manufacturer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit sort of like washing your mouth with shampoo.
Well, I thought
shampoo.
maybe with that lemon fairy liquid.
Yeah, it is.
It's as if they got some sort of lemon fairy liquid and ground up chalk and mixed the two together and popped it so that you can brush your teeth.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Paul.
It's a very odd taste.
So welcome, B-L-O-O-D-Y, welcome to you, and thank you for tuning in this week to the show and for following us on all our lovely platforms, especially things like Instagram. We've got we've got lots of lovely pictures on Instagram now, Paul.
Have I put any up there?
No, I manage Instagram and I think you'll find it's crammed full of gorgeous images. So go, follow us on Instagram. That's Richard and Paul. Instagram.
Are there any pictures of you doing what other Instagram people do?
What? No. But you've just had them for free.
You could get there's I saw one the other day and she had her bazoomas and
Disgusting.
it was sort of like, that's porn.
Yeah, it is kind of pornographic. It's kind of like what we would have called 40 years ago soft porn.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you look at those films like The Bitch and The Stud.
Oh.
I mean, they're not hardcore, are they, really? It's just Joan Collins going, oh, 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 like that in a lift.
Does she do that? I've never seen that. Do it
doing
again.
her nails.
Do it again.
Oh, give it to me, big boy. Oh. Anyway, you know, I mean, but it kind of, I find it, I think those kind of images that are available to very young people, I think that's wrong. I do think it's wrong.
But you're not, don't they have age limits on them?
Yeah, but come on.
Oh yeah,
now.
no, that's true.
Come on,
Yeah.
The kids are savvy. They'll find what they want to find. And I don't know, I just think this over-sexualization of everything is a little bit strange. I mean, it's okay when it's done in a jesty way, a little bit like the Carry On films.
Well, even now,
Yeah, but
they're a bit
but
Yeah.
it was cartoon-like.
It was very sort of seaside picture postcard.
And I think kids know the difference between something that is highly sexualized
Yeah.
and is cartoonish.
Yeah.
Because I remember as kids, we used to giggle at the Carry On films
Oh, yeah.
and giggle at boobs and giggle at things like Benny Hill, you know, because it was funny. Ladies in underwear were funny. It was funny. It wasn't sexual because you don't sort of connect with it sexually. But when somebody's going like that, with big pouty lips,
Getting their buttons out.
I mean, they basically look like a sex doll.
Well, do they?
Yes, they do.
Have you ever seen a sex doll in real life?
Yes, I have.
I haven't.
They're weirdo things.
You can get automated, like robot ones now. That's sort of...
No.
Yeah.
No. No, I saw a
Japan.
video. I saw a video of a guy. I think it was this morning with Holly and Phil.
Oh, right. And he'd married it.
No, he collects them.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
And like dances with them.
Oh.
Look, I'm not judging, but it was weird. Anyway, let's move on from that weird subject.
I saw the Olympics, the Tokyo Olympics ad.
Well, they didn't have sex dolls, did they?
Well, they've got, right at the beginning, they've got sort of dancing athletes in leotards, and then they become those like Tokyo girls in short skirts, and I don't know, I find that all a bit inappropriate now.
Well, I don't know. I think things have just gone that little step too far. I think funny, slightly titillating things, it's okay.
I wonder where the derivation, I can't say it, of that word came from.
Titillation.
Titillation.
Titillation. No, I think that's I think we all know where the line is, don't we? But when you're dressing your child in a t-shirt that says, I'm a porn star, that's gone too far.
Oh, that's definitely gone too far.
Do you know what I mean? But I've seen it. Yeah, I saw a child wearing a t-shirt saying, porn star on it.
That's inappropriate.
Yeah. And it's,
but what? I mean, they shouldn't be able to... I mean, I know that... I mean, we all have... Yeah, no, that shouldn't be available for young children.
Anyway.
No.
That's our rant of the week. Anyway, weather. Oh no, other welcomes before we do that. Welcome to new members on Planet Vegetaria. That's a Facebook group by Rich and Paul. Rich and Paul since 2017. That's contractual. And have we got any more followers on Twitter, Paul? You manage that one, don't you?
I sort of don't do a lot on Twitter, no. But
no, so we haven't.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
So goodbye, Twitter.
I have actually been doing a lot of twitting for Earth's sake this week.
Well,
but we'll come on to that later.
Hello, Twitter for Earth's sake.
Yeah.
And other places we are, Facebook, Richard and Paul, which is a sort of place that we put things.
I think we're putting things less on the Facebook page.
We just sort of we just pop a few things on there because it's really Planet Vegetaria, which is our little flagship group.
Yeah, and of course
that we love.
We've got coffee as well,
and of course our coffee supporters, and of course this week we did do a exclusive podcast on coffee. Podcast Maxi number 5.
Yeah, so
sounds a bit like a panty pad, I'm finding.
Maxi pod.
I'm wearing my podcast Maxi.
Oh dear.
Anyway, we've got no Agatha now, haven't we?
We'll move
There's no
on.
hope for the rest of the show.
We'll move on. Weather. Are you
no, my thing went into my face and...
It was, the Illuminati used to do that, didn't they?
What?
And some sort of, high
The Illuminati
Catholic
used to do that?
Yeah, flagellation with whips and things. I'm sure that's there, and that's what you were doing with your...
No, I just went like that and
exactly.
It went into my face.
Exactly.
And
I hope that's not going to become a fetish. Weather.
Yeah, it's been hot, sticky, humid, damp, cool, warm, cool
Cold.
again, cold. And it's now humid this morning, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little hot and sticky.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on. I don't know. I mean, we're well past the middle of summer now, and by this time in the UK, July is normally heating up really nicely, lots of sun.
Nicely?
Yeah.
It never heats up nicely
Well, no,
in July, Paul.
it
gets
does.
disgusting and hot and sticky.
No, that's more the end
every
of
single
July.
time.
End of July, beginning of August, it can get really, really hot. But by now we should be having, really decent sun, few rain showers.
Would you just stop
lovely.
the tip-tapping of the feet?
Why?
Because I'm worried about vibration. Carry on.
I've lost where I was.
Heat, sunshine. By this time we've got lots of sun.
So you agree with me now?
No, you said that. I'm not disagreeing, but the word nicely used in conjunction with horrible hot weather, I don't find it nice at all. I find it disgusting.
We're usually having good spells of sunshine. I mean, the last 3 or 4 years since what did we have? We had the drought in 2018, and then, it's just been sunny and glorious, and maybe too hot for some. And, this year, I mean, things just are not growing at the plot. I'm going to go into that a bit more.
What do you mean things are not growing?
They're
not growing as well as they could do, or they would in full sun every day.
This year is I know we say it every year, but it's a really odd year. It was highlighted to me when Google gave me a photo from a year ago. It sort of gives you this is your photo from last year. And it was one of the Velvet Queen sunflowers in full bloom. And that was about 4 days ago.
Yeah. Oh, I saw something as well that popped up on my doodah as well.
Yeah, but I thought I was talking.
No, you've just reminded me. It was a crocosmia in the back garden. They were in flower this time last year.
They're weeks away.
They're not in flower at all.
No. And I'm just finding things generally...
Bit slow.
Really tardy.
And why? Why, Paul?
It's the weather, Richard.
No, is it because we had...
torrential rain?
Yeah.
And I also think because we had that warm spell, really warm spell, everything sort of got going, then we had the cold spell and it's all fallen back. And I'm noticing that with our Shaz's Scarlet Emperor runner beans.
Thanks, Shaz.
They are forming lots of flowers,
but
the pollinators are not there to pollinate. And it's been in the last maybe week, 10 days, and I don't think, I mean, I'll check again today, but I don't think we had any bean that had formed, even been pollinated to be formed. And that is worrying.
Yeah.
However, soft fruits this year for us are doing really well. I still need to pick gooseberries, and I think this evening we'll be having some red gooseberries with yoghurt.
So why then are all the weeds doing so well?
Well, I mean...
all the bindweed and all the couch grass and all the grasses and the wildflowers, why are they doing so well?
Because they've had lots of moisture,
yeah,
and
so
they don't need the sun. They can grow in shade. They don't need the sun. Weeds are incredibly resilient. So, they will grow. So when we were down the canal the other day, there was some bindweed and it looked spectacular.
Gorgeous.
In full flower.
Shame you can't eat it.
I'm going to have to look that up.
No, isn't it a member of the nightshade family, that one?
I think it is, but that doesn't necessarily... so is potato.
So is belladonna.
When she's at home, yeah. Yeah, it's a funny year.
Yeah.
Every year, funny year. Anyway, we went off onto a tangent, didn't I?
Well, that's fine because you're giving people valuable information.
We're wibbling our words today, aren't we?
So this week, it's been a strange week for me because I've been off work. I've had this ear infection thing. I finished my course of antibiotics on Thursday or Friday, I can't remember. I have still got a slight vertigo when I move around too quickly, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was, so I think I should be fine to go back to work on Monday. But it's been a weird week. It really took me time to get going, Paul, especially when we went to the Chilterns for our little jaunt. I said to Paul, we've got to get out. We've got to get out. I can't spend another day indoors. Feet, rustling, movement, stop.
That was your tummy.
That was my tummy. Oh, my. Yes.
I bet the camera picked that up.
Well, I hope so. And we just had to get out. I had to get out, but I found walking the hills up and down was a little bit challenging, having spent the best part of 4 or 5 days on the sofa, doing very little, trying to stay still. But it's just been, I think also it's been a very busy couple of months. Sort of May and June and the beginning of July has just been really busy with doing stuff and getting out and about.
Well, having had the car, as we said on the podcast yesterday, it has, it's given us the ability to get out when we want to, rather than having to plan it more.
And luckily, I have to say, it's been really weird, but with the vertigo, I worried about getting in the car. But when I'm sat in the car and I'm driving, there is absolutely no vertigo at all.
Well, it's just as well.
Even when I turn. Weird. It's only when I bend that I get it. Very odd. Very odd.
We went up to the Chilterns and we had a nice time. And we did actually do a hill that we don't normally do, which as you come out of Cowley's Wood and go into the Wormsley estate, there's quite a hill. One of the fields has got quite a slope on it, and we decided to go down the public pathway of that to the next field. And I don't think you realised it was quite as steep as it was.
It's always the way. Going down is always very easy. And then you turn around and think, oh, that's a massive hill.
Yeah, as I get older, I feel getting up is
And we took it very slowly. But I found that my energy levels dropped very, very quickly. And we needed to get back to the car for that cheese and Marmite bagel.
We did, well, it wasn't a bagel, was it?
Oh, it was a sandwich.
It was a sandwich.
Yes.
Because you're liking the bread that I'm making.
I'm loving that bread, Paul. I don't know what your secret ingredient is, but it's gorgeous.
I put powdered hair in it. So I cut a bit of hair, just whiz it up and pop
Paul,
it in.
Don't be absolutely ridiculous now, Paul. Have you been malting it? Because it's very dark.
It's malted.
It's malted. I think it's the malt. It gives it that lovely, lovely glowing colour.
And it also gives it a bit of volume in the crumb.
It just makes it generally better than those strange breads you've been making recently, Paul, that have been falling apart and been a bit too dry, I've found, personally. What? It's true.
27 and a half years. Will we get to 28? Who knows?
Or will there be a murder? Yes, lovely. Talking about murders.
Yes.
Talking about murders, Paul. I had a little fantasy, didn't I?
Oh, you did, yes.
We went on another trip out to the local area.
Without the car.
Obviously.
Without Fenella.
And that was yesterday.
Yeah.
So we decided to have a walk
Friday,
up the canal. What's canal in French? Canali. Canale. Canala.
That's a fashion brand, a male fashion brand, Canali.
There's no paid promotion. Went up the canal and across to Warren Farm. This is a local
Well, we did the meadows first.
nature reserve.
We did the meadows first.
Do you want to go through every single minutiae of detail, Paul?
Well, yes, because we did the meadows first.
We did the meadows first. Then we went to Warren Farm Nature Reserve. That's Warren Farm, Anwell. Look it up. Google it. And we're hoping that it will get an official nature reserve status very soon. There's been a big petition to stop development of that site because it is an area of huge diversity.
Now.
Which we kind of discovered, didn't we, Paul? Yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Catch up with the programme, Paul. But anyway, we also discovered that it is still used by the Warren Farm Model Aircraft Society. They have a specially mown runway.
Yeah.
And we kind of walked across the runway area and past a gentleman carrying his huge plane.
It was big.
And he was pleasant enough, said good morning. I wasn't
You didn't say good morning.
pleasant towards him in my head because a few minutes earlier the air had been disturbed with the whiff of petrol and the constant whirring sound of another model plane. He was the next guy in line, I think, to fly his. Anyway, yes, we did exchange a pleasant good morning. I did.
Oh, good.
I did open my mouth to him. And, but then it went through my head and I thought to myself, what would he look like with a plane embedded in his skull?
You did think that.
No, I did. And it was a little bit like that song, What's She Gonna Look Like with a Chimney on Her Head? Do you remember
yes,
that one?
I do.
What's she gonna look like with a chimney
Yeah,
on
don't
her... Copyright.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
and then my mind went into
Well, no, you thought about it for a while, didn't you?
the scenario of finding his body with a plane embedded in his head and
And the murder mystery.
calling the police and the police saying, well, it's a clear case of accidental death, innit? You know? But then we go to bed at night and I'm saying, Paul, there's something worrying me about that death. I think it might have been murder. And you saying, oh, don't be silly, Richard, you're just having an overactive imagination, and me thinking, we must go back and look and search the area. And then us finding a little piece from another remote control. I'm not saying any more in case I decide to write it. Copyright Richard and Paul.
I don't think you can do that.
2021. Yes, I can, and I've just done it.
If you Google it, you'll mostly find it's already been done. Yeah.
Don't spoil the party. Don't rain on my parade, Paul. Anyway, I thought it was good.
I thought that was
They're all
quite a good
thinking
idea.
about it now, you see.
I thought it was quite a good idea.
They're all thinking about it. Don't steal my idea,
No.
because if you do, I will kill you. Anyway, with an aircraft.
There's a lot of murders going on today.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that was all lovely, getting out and about.
And you took some lovely photos.
I did, and they're available to see on Planet Vegetaria and Richard and Paul, and also Instagram. Oh. So lovely.
Dear.
So this week's also been a bumper week for cookery. I've been cooking.
You have been cooking.
And I was kind of driven. I was feeling really sorry for myself on the sofa. I can't go on. I just can't do anything anymore. My life is over. I was, and I kind of thought, come on, I've got to make something high in nutrition, lots of
Vegetables.
vitamins, lots of minerals, good protein source. So I decided when you were upstairs working to make a lovely veggie stew.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a big vegetable stew in the Instant Pot. Then we kind of had leftovers of that the next day in a soup.
And thank you to Courtney and Dave for that Instant Pot
Yeah,
because it is
it's
fabulous.
the gift that keeps on giving.
Absolutely.
I can tell you we love it. It's so good, so easy. One pot meals, That's the way forward. I mean, you're probably wondering why we're making vegetable stews and chilies and soups
It's cold.
in the middle of
In the middle of winter.
summer. In the middle of summer. This is winter food, but it's hearty food, and it has been feeling cold.
It has.
Cold and damp. And I've just been in need. You know when your body seems to be telling you,
Craving.
you need vegetables, you need some good protein, you need lots of loveliness. I always need loveliness in my life, Paul.
You don't get it from me, no.
So, yeah,
And
so
also-
I made a chili non-carne,
That was lovely.
or a chili con veggie, whatever you want to call it. That was delightful. And we had that the following day, and then the following day after that. So these are cheap meals. Cheap meals. And using some of those vegetables that aren't looking so fresh. Maybe the pepper's starting to go a little bit wrinkly. If it's not gone mouldy, it's still usable, because all that wrinkliness goes away once it's cooked.
Have I gone mouldy?
No, you just cook yourself in the sun, don't you?
I bake.
To this leathery finish.
I do moisturise.
We should try some of that car wax on you, Paul. Anyway, so yeah, lovely week of good hearty food. Whether that's helped, I don't know. I'd love to say I'm feeling 100% and I'm completely cured, but I don't think I am. I think this takes time with me, especially at this age. You know, things do take time to heal and get over.
I was saying that to Mum yesterday.
Yeah.
Mum was saying something and I said, but Mum, you know, it will take a while to heal. And she said, well, will it heal before I'm 90? I went, yeah, I'm sure it will, Mum. Yeah. But it is, you know, as we get older.
Cell regeneration is slower.
Yeah.
Metabolism is slower.
Which is why we should eat less, because we don't need as much, especially if we're not being energetic. But we have done quite a bit this week.
Yeah, that eat less thing hasn't clicked with me yet.
No.
We still eat probably enough for 2 each. We don't go back for seconds. I did the other day.
You did the other day.
But it was fat-free.
Yeah.
It was completely fat-free. That's the other good thing about an Instant Pot meal. You don't need to use any fat. You don't need to do any frying.
Well, you don't need to anyway. But it makes it easier to do it. And
in the pot, switch it on. Bye. 15 minutes later, gorgeous meal.
You're very chatty today, aren't you?
I am chatty.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that caffeine that I haven't had.
Exactly. You haven't had any yet.
Coffee. What is it? It's just exuberance.
It's funny, we've both been, I've been feeling a bit bleh this week. And I feel as though I've achieved quite a lot as well. I've been at my desk quite a bit, doing things for Earth's sake.
So the old thing about
I was talking at the moment,
the old
but
thing
no,
about
Richard
being
is talking.
busy and being happier isn't necessarily true. Because those things you have to do.
Yeah.
They are things, they're chores, you've got to do them. I whizzed round and did the dusting this morning, didn't I, Paul?
Yeah, you
Before breakfast, because it had to be done, it was looking a little bit shabby.
Yeah.
Shabby chic, of course.
Well, it wasn't shabby chic.
Anyway, move on now, Paul, move on. Yes, move on. Paul, tell me now. Tell me long and hard. That was Gone with the Wind, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kiss me red, kiss me long and hard.
Yeah.
Kiss me every which way you can. Mammy, tear down the curtains and make me a dress. I'm 17, I'm beautiful, I'm going to the ball. Ashley's party.
We don't have any curtains.
No, tear down the blinds and make me a box. What was I saying?
I don't know.
Paul, what have we... You really need to get some better conditioner. It's really dry.
It needs a cut. You need to cut it.
Last time you just chopped bits off randomly and said, I've cut my hair, and I said it looks great.
I'm not sure whether it did or whether you just said that, though.
I meant it.
I think it would be nice if you cut my hair this
Would
afternoon.
it? No, it's not happening this afternoon. I've got other things to do. So, Paul...
Are you going to be sleeping on the sofa this afternoon?
Well, I might have an afternoon
Well,
nap.
you could do my hair instead of that.
Naturally, Paul. That goes without saying. I didn't have a nap yesterday, actually.
Didn't you?
No.
Well, you weren't able to have a nap yesterday because of the amount of work going on in our road.
Oh my goodness me. Before we get on to TV, there's been a bumper week outside for workmen in the street.
Yeah?
Workmen in the street. Working. There was actually a hot one. Did you see that hot one that looked like Kurt Cobain? Oh yeah.
What does Kurt Cobain look like?
God, Paul.
Is he blonde?
Was.
Right. No, I'm not sure who Kurt
Said
Cobain
you're gonna
is.
fix my water meter any day.
Sort out your plumbing. Yes. So yes, we're having water meters installed.
Yeah, water meters, every house.
So if we don't have one already, which we don't, everyone is going onto a water meter.
Everyone.
And there's been lots of sort of digging and picks and
Drilling.
forks and drilling and
pounding.
that thing to cut through pavement slabs and things. So lots of noise, but actually they've really
good,
got on and done the job.
No, they have been good. They've only done cutting where necessary, haven't they? They haven't been cutting everything.
Well, yeah, everything needs to be cut because the
They didn't
water
cut
meter.
ours.
What do you mean they didn't?
They haven't done that bit on ours.
Not yet, but they will be
Next week.
next week.
There'll be more fun.
So we've got a big platform thing,
Plastic thing.
yellow
yes.
thing, so that we don't fall into a hole at the moment.
Is there a hole underneath?
I assume so.
How deep
Otherwise,
is the hole?
Gosh, that reminded me of the song title then.
How deep is your hole?
How
Yeah.
deep is your love?
I don't remember that song.
So yeah, it's but also down. We're having a controlled parking zone put in.
CPZ.
We're not. The council is in our area. When I say we're having it,
We've already got our own controlled parking zone.
We do.
It's called a
yes.
driveway.
It's called a driveway, and
a dropped curb.
but they've started putting posts in to put the signs on. And the white lines, because we've got narrow roads, they're putting white lines on the pavement so that people have to bump up onto the pavement, which isn't a bad idea, but
ruins the look of the street.
Ruins the look of the street, the white lines, that is, not the bumping up on the pavement. But I'm noticing that in some places where they are bumping, you're putting the thing to bump up on the pavement, there isn't enough room for a buggy, to go down.
Forget the buggies.
Well,
Forget the buggies, Paul.
No, because...
What about wheelchair users?
Well, yeah, wheelchair users, all things like
Hello.
that. And
They have to go in the road.
It's sort of like, this doesn't really make sense. What we've normally had in our street, we've normally had one side of the road parking on the road and one side parking on the pavement. And it's sort of an unwritten, guideline. That's what people do. That's what happens. But with having to bump up on both sides, yes, it's going to make the road wider, but actually it's making the pavements less accessible.
But the councils don't listen to what anybody says. I've had no response to that letter I sent to Transport Planning at all.
Yeah.
Not even an acknowledgement. And I haven't had an acknowledgement from the MP either.
What, Virendra Sharma?
No, nothing at all. I'm disgusted. Disgusted of Hanwell.
He always gets back to me.
Oh, does he now?
Yeah, I got an email from him earlier this week.
Well, then
about
you should
something.
say you haven't replied to my partner.
Well, I will do.
Thank you very much.
I will do.
So, television.
What else was I going to say? But the silly thing is, where they're putting in these posts to put in signs, they're often putting it like a metre or 2 metres away from a post that's already in. And that's what I... A lamppost, yeah. Why not put it on the lamppost? Rather than putting another post.
They put a 20 mile an hour sign on a lamppost, didn't they?
Absolutely. So why not put this sign on a lamppost about what times we're allowed to park or not?
You know why?
Why?
Because they'll have consulted a consultant who will have recommended that we need to do this by law you've got to do, and they'll have made it that way to make more money.
Most probably.
That's the way it goes.
But you know, it's more road furniture, you know, and it's just, it looks. Yeah,
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, there are those streets, aren't there? I've seen those photos, and they've got so many signs on them.
Yeah.
It becomes confusing, and you don't actually know where to look. You know? No, you don't, because you've got to take in so much information. Your focus is taken away from driving.
He said yesterday, no, that on Thursday when we were driving, he said, I don't see why everybody is getting in that lane. And I said, that's because you've got to get in that lane to go straight on. Your lane is for turning right. And he said, well, how would I know that? Right in front of the car on the road was a huge right turn arrow. And you hadn't seen it, had you? It was only about 15 feet tall.
Paul, the last time I drove along that road, it was a head only in that lane.
Yeah, it was then.
It wasn't a right-hand turn.
Yes, but
I didn't see the sign until the last minute.
See the huge sign. Well, maybe that's because of the proliferation of change on that road.
Yes.
Because there has been a lot of change.
All the other signs.
That's his excuse anyway. So, what have we been watching this week?
Move on.
Well, we watched Kathy Burke's
Money Talks.
Money Talks.
Very good. If you don't know who Kathy Burke is a well-known national treasure in Britain. Has been acting for quite a long time now.
Decades.
Very well known as Linda in Gimme Gimme Gimme.
Yeah, yeah.
As Waynetta Slob.
Yeah.
In The Slobs, which was Harry Enfield's programme. She's also known for Magda.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Magda? Yeah, Magda in Absolutely Fabulous, the boss of one of the magazines. And she's been in a load of other stuff, a load of theatre. She also directs as well.
She directs a lot.
But she was basically talking about all the different aspects of money in society.
Well, she was talking about
she?
wealth, and she was talking about poverty.
Yeah, the aspects of money in society, Paul.
Yeah, but it was the extremes that she was looking at. And, I mean, the particularly the wealth one, I think it always astounds us how much money some people have. But the guy with his helicopter and his house and everything was designer in his house, and you know he's very happy with his house and what his house looks like, but it looks like a showroom rather than a house.
His greatest fear was losing everything.
Yeah, he's worth like 320 million apparently, and his fear is losing everything, which as a you know, a wealthy person you can do is if all your wealth is in the company that you own. Because if that company goes down, you lose your wealth.
But, you know, he seemed like a nice guy. And I think, actually, most of the people that she interviewed who had money seemed like very well-balanced people.
Yeah, she took us to a TikTok house called Wave House or something.
Oh, I don't know.
And that was very bizarre, but the person that seemed to actually be running it seemed to be quite with it, I
So
thought.
this was a house full of young people who do videos on TikTok in this house
and
that
YouTube,
they rent. It's all about wealth and glamour, basically, and they sort of wear these strange masks.
Yeah,
don't
it's sort
they?
of like chainmail masks.
And it's all sort of very slick, quick videos. I don't really get TikTok, but I mean, they all seemed like nice people.
Yeah.
The place was fairly clean and tidy,
Well,
so they weren't living in a DOS house.
But I'm not sure it's still going.
But I didn't kind of get it.
No, I didn't.
And I kind of don't get
a lot of things.
A lot of those things that appeal to young people. I understand that the idea of glamour and wealth appeals to young people, having things that you desire and all of that. I get that, I do get that, but it's so prevalent. I mean, it was prevalent in the 80s when we were teenagers.
I still think it comes back to Dynasty in Dallas, where, you know, we'd had Coronation Street, things like that, which were all about, you know, poor people and poverty, and then suddenly our screens were hit with Dallas, which is all about multi-millionaires and how they live.
Yeah. So, you know, I understand people have aspirations, but I think there must be an awful lot of disappointed people in the world.
Oh, I think there are.
And I think young people, aren't geared up for disappointment very well.
No.
Because, to be honest, a large proportion of life is all about disappointment.
Yes.
You know, realising that life isn't going to be necessarily how you planned. For some, it works out, but it's a very small percentage of people that get exactly what they want in life.
I think 99.9% of people know what they want in life and don't actually get it. Then I think as you get older, it's not necessarily that you lower your expectations, but you reassess things and decide that other things are more important than what you thought 10 years ago. So you know, things change.
I think also with credit, and she was talking about this, with the availability of credit, people were able to buy their little darlings whatever they wanted. You know, when we were kids, I mean, we were very fortunate. We did get quite a number of lovely things at Christmas, but we weren't spoiled. I mean, we didn't get everything we wanted. We were told, no, you can't have that because we can't afford it, but you can have this instead. And you kind of had to be happy with that. And actually, generally, the things that we were most happiest with were the cheapest things. Things like the pencils, colouring in books, cassettes.
Pastry cutters.
Music.
Pastry cutters.
I
remember pastry cutters, getting pastry cutters, shaped pastry cutters that were dinosaurs.
I remember getting a pencil sharpener that I was in love with.
Aww.
It was lovely. So, you know, things like that, rather than the, small electric car. I saw one the other day on TV. This child in a small electric car.
Oh, you mean a...
Yeah! Only £4,000. I thought, what? You can get a car for that?
Yeah. But one of the people, I won't mention their names, but one of the people that I know goes to their child goes to a local school, was sort of saying about the wheelie things that they have. You know, the scooters. You know, no, not electric scooters. The normal scooters, and that. That I said, you know, oh, well, yeah, you know, everyone's got them. And she said, yeah, it's amazing that, you know, some are like 20 quid, but so-and-so, who's their friend, has got one that's £280.
Oh, please, give me a break. But
and
anyway.
This child is like 7.
Yeah. Wind up now.
Well, no, that's
We've got to
mad.
move on to the next programme. So, Money Talks with Kathy Burke. We need to move on because the show's going on far too long now, Paul. People will be switching off.
No, they won't.
No, they literally will be.
If you're going to watch Kathy Burke Money Talks, be prepared for F-bombs.
Oh, yeah.
There are plenty of those.
Oh, yeah.
She's very much in the Miriam Margolyes vein in that way, though very, very different person, obviously.
So lovely. So we also watched a lovely documentary called Agatha Christie's England.
We did.
We thoroughly enjoyed it. So
we
recommended.
did. I did.
Recommended.
And I've always loved Agatha Christie. Always loved Agatha Christie. And she's one of the people that I would have loved to have met, but she died in 1976, so, you know, I never met her. But I've read her autobiographies and I've read a biography of her as well. What I didn't realise is that I think it was 19 12 or something, she lived just up the road.
I know, unbelievable. Lived in Hanwell.
At number 90 or number 99.
Uxbridge Road.
Uxbridge Road.
Yeah, interesting.
I think it was the 1912 census.
Yeah.
And she had a great aunt that lived in Ealing.
Yeah.
And
She used to
spent
visit.
a lot of time there.
That's right, that's lovely. That's
So,
the most interesting part of the programme.
I
Let's
could
move
go
to
on
the next
about
one.
Agatha Christie for hours and hours.
What's that? Great Great Canal Journeys.
Great Canal Journeys.
With Sheila Hancock and Giles Brandreth.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not as good as Prue and Tim.
I don't know.
Is
I mean,
it
I think there's always, when there's a couple, Prue and Tim are obviously married, and you get a sort of feeling of what happens at sort of home and how that's brought into the canal boat and things like that. With the two of these, they've been friends for very, very, very many years.
Yeah.
And you get that friendship, but you obviously don't get the home coming into
No, that's right.
the
Two
series.
people having a lovely time on a canal with locks. And we also watched the remake of the 39 Steps.
Remake.
I didn't watch it all, to be honest, because actually I was getting rather annoyed with the inconsistent lighting.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
It was. At one point there'd be lovely golden sunshine coming through a line of trees. He'd go through the line of trees and then it was dull.
Yeah.
And it didn't make any sense. It was inconsistent. The continuity wasn't particularly good. And that annoys me as a photographer.
And there were a few other things like that. At one point, it's Rupert Penrhys Jones, isn't it? At one point, there's an explosion, and his clothes get tattered. You don't actually see this at that point, but then he gives his coat to somebody else to keep her warm, and you see his shirt and his waistcoat at the back is all tattered and torn. But his coat, which he was wearing during the explosion, is in pristine condition.
So that's lovely. So you watched that.
I rather enjoyed that.
Well, you watch any old
I
crap,
find
won't you, Paul?
the 39 Steps a really odd story. It's so unbelievable. And actually, as a Hitchcock, it was sort of unbelievable.
I said that to you
and
yesterday.
now it's unbelievable as well.
I said that.
But it's
I was
quite a
saying
good
that.
sort of rolling
You've
story.
just stolen everything I said about it yesterday, which you went, oh, shut up, I'm enjoying it.
Well, I was enjoying it, but it is pretty unbelievable.
The story is rubbish.
I mean,
because all of the things he does, you would not do.
So he gets away, so all the police are there.
No.
And then he's on the train, and he jumps off the train.
Watch it yourself. Okay. All Stars.
Do you know who his mum is?
No, and I don't want to know. Who?
Marjorie.
Marjorie Frobisher.
Yeah.
Oh, in Dudar, To the Manor Born. Lovely.
What I didn't realise is that his dad was into The Manor Born
Yes.
as well. Just 1 or 2 episodes.
We
But
need to wind this up now. It's too long.
I could go on for hours.
We also watched Countdown with the lovely Grace Dent.
Yes.
Restaurant critique.
And author.
And Philippa Perry as
Yes.
well, who was starting.
Yeah.
Lovely
Yeah.
Grayson Perry's wife.
It's quite interesting because
Is it?
it was mentioned by I don't know, by Susie, I think it was, that at some point there could be an all-female episode of Countdown.
Big deal.
Well, I think that's quite something.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Why hasn't there been so far?
Because all of the presenters, the main people, have been male.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Should have happened a long time ago.
Taken a long time
Really.
to get a female one in the full-time post there.
We also watched The Hotel Inspector with Alex Polizzi.
We
Same
did.
Same old, frankly. It's
was a
really,
bit, yeah.
really not elevated, has it, as a programme?
Well,
It hasn't
there was
evolved
quite a
other
bit
than
of
COVID.
There was quite a bit of familial talk, family talk, and lots of emotion.
I
in that,
think she
wasn't there?
needs to elevate evolve, change the format a little bit, please, Alex? Thank you. Because, frankly, you're polishing a turd.
Her husband's a baker.
And finally, to end the show, we've got Word of the Week.
Oh, really?
I've got a whatwa.
Oh, fantastic.
I've got a whatwa and I'm going to use it.
I love a whopper.
Right, Paul.
Right. Are you going to use it in a sentence?
No.
Oh.
It's a hyphenated word.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. It is. Omnium gatherum. Omnium gatherum. It's a mixed etymology because it actually has roots in Old English and a Latin influence.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but it's not actually classed as a Latin word. Omnium gatherum. Omnium,
Is it
O-M...
a collection of nothingness?
O-M-N-I-U-M hyphen G-A-T-H-E-R-U-M. Omnium gatherum.
Is it a collection of nothingness?
No.
Is it something around that?
It is a collection. Hurry up, your 30 seconds are nearly up.
Is it something to do with nothing?
No.
Oh. Omni. So you got omnipotent, omnipresent.
Yeah. All.
A collection of everything.
No.
Is gatherum a collection?
Oh, I'm going to stop you now.
No. Use it in a sentence.
She amassed a bizarre omnium gatherum.
Collection of something very specific.
It's a miscellaneous collection.
Oh, a random collection.
A miscellaneous collection.
Wow.
Yeah. There you
There we
go.
are.
Word of the week. What? Richard and Paul. When you want it all, watch Richard and Paul.
And congratulations to the little girl that won the spelling bee. I was reading about her this morning and that is so lovely. So lovely. Well done.
Where was that then?
It was on Google or something. So
Yeah,
it was in
where
my
was the
news. In
spelling
America.
bee?
In America, it's always
National
in America.
spelling bee.
National spelling bee.
National spelling bee winner.
Yeah.
Well
Yeah.
done, whoever you are, little girl.
Yeah.
So, that's it.
Is it?
Yeah, it's time for a nice cup of something hot.
Coffee.
Nice coffee.
Yeah.
And it's time to say goodbye.
You need to do
Thank
some
you.
editing, don't you?
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us and tuning in and being so faithful and lovely. Thank you. Bye for now.
Yeah, that sounds quite patronising.
Me? Patronising? I don't think so. Sincerely from the bottom of our
Bottoms.
cold, empty hearts.
Your cold, empty heart. Mine is quite full of love and butterflies.
Mine's dead. Dead and gone years ago. No, not really. I'm not Katie Hopkins, for God's sake.
Oh,
Anyway, we're going now. Goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye to everybody. That was good, wasn't it? It was like
Are you sure
Judy
you
Garland.
haven't taken all of your tablets in one go? Your antibiotics.
No. Of course, I don't do drugs. Say no to drugs, kids. No.
No.
Unless they're prescription.
How? They used to say how as well.
Unless
didn't
they're
they?
prescription, you need them for medical condition.
Do you remember How?
How?
That was a great TV
We're
program.
going now, Paul.
How do they do that?
I'm going to cut you off in your
Yeah.
prime.
I think my prime was years ago.
Oh yeah, I don't think you ever had a prime.
No,
Paul.
I don't think. The only prime in my life is Amazon. That's it. Yeah.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Bye.